Hi everybody, I'm Lights Camera Jackson. It's Sunday, September 30, 2018. Welcome to LCJ Live. As SpongeBob says to Patrick, I got something better than 24. 25! This is the 25th episode of LCJ Live. Glad you are here. Coming up, I've got my reviews of several of this fall's brand new TV shows, including one premiering tonight called God Friended Me on CBS. I've seen the first episode. I will talk about that. We'll get into the box office in a second, as well as some big movies opening up this week, including A Star is Born, Venom, and some others in limited release. So we'll get to all of that. As always, send in your questions and comments. I am here for you. And hey, The Simpsons is back tonight too. There's Apu for you, the most controversial character on the show right now. So we'll get into all that in a second. Let's get to the box office. Night School is your #1 movie in America with $28 million. This is the new comedy with Kevin Hart and Tiffany Haddish. I forgot to mention on last week's show how I met Kevin Hart. It was at the Critics' Choice Awards a couple of years ago, December 2016. Walking by, shook hands with him, told him I was a fan, he appreciated it, and wished him good luck as he was going to go up on stage to present Viola Davis with the Best Supporting Actress Critics' Choice Award for Fences. So Kevin Hart and Tiffany Haddish lead this new movie, Night School. 28 million, I don't think it's a huge number. I think Universal was probably hoping for more. It's the second week in a row that a Universal movie has topped the box office, with House at a Clock in Its Walls winning the weekend last weekend, and now Night School. So Universal is happy, but I feel like 28 million is a little low. Also, I think 23 million is a little low for Smallfoot, which came in second place this weekend, the new Warner Brothers animated comedy adventure musical. There's some songs in it with the voices of Channing Tatum and Common and Danny DeVito, Zendaya. 23 million is slightly better than the last two Warner Brothers animated movies that have opened up in the month of September. 2 years ago, we had Storks. That was around 21.5 million. Last year, the Lego Ninjago movie with around 20 million. So it's slightly better, but I feel like these animated movies should be making more money than that in these opening weekends. I feel like 23 million is low, especially considering you look at Smallfoot was in 4,131 theaters. That's unbelievable. Night School was barely in more than 3,000. So Smallfoot was in 1,000 more theaters than Night School, and it still lost. That shouldn't have happened. I feel like Warner Brothers is going to be disappointed. Now look, Warner Brothers has had a huge string of hits recently. Crazy Rich Asians, The Meg, and The Nun. So they're taking a bit of a loss on this, and hopefully a big bounce back next week with A Star is Born. But in their animation department, they should kind of be thinking about what their strategies should be. Lego Movie 2, the second part, does come out in February, which should be a pretty big moneymaker in February, but I think they should be a little disappointed with Smallfoot. And I was disappointed with the quality of Smallfoot. It's not a terrible animated movie, but it's not amazing by any means. Really, the first half is dull, not very interesting. There's a couple good songs, but other than that, not much to go along with for older kids and adults. Until you get to the second half, and there's a rap performed by Common's character, the Stonekeeper, that actually deals with race relations in this country, protests in 2018 America, and I thought, man, this movie's going deeper than I thought. We're finally getting somewhere. Fortunately, the third act kind of falls apart a little bit for this movie, but I thought the middle section is actually pretty good. The animation is nice, the voices are good, but the humor is really the weak element here. And Smallfoot doesn't go as far in those more adult, serious themes. It doesn't go as far as Zootopia did. Zootopia was so impressive. I remember coming out of Zootopia, I had seen promos earlier in the week with some critic blurbs saying, this is the best Disney animated movie in 20 years and one of the best Disney animated movies ever. And I go, even after Frozen, even after so many other recent ones, why is Zootopia another talking animal movie like this? And then I saw Zootopia and went, yeah, now I figured out why. I think Zootopia should have been a Best Original Screenplay Academy Award nominee because there were so many deep themes and messages in Zootopia. It was a crime drama race relations movie disguised in animated Disney form. So impressive. Smallfoot, not as impressive, and not as impressive numbers, just $23 million. House with a Clock in Its Walls falls to third, $12.5 million. A Simple Favor in fourth. The Nun in fifth. Hellfest, this new horror movie about a traveling theme park attraction called Hellfest, just $5.1 million to come in sixth. Rounding out your top 10 this weekend, Crazy Rich Asians, The Predator, White Boy Rick with Matthew McConaughey, and Peppermint. Outside of the top 10, the new Little Women movie with Leah Thompson in 16th this weekend with just $747,000. I know Regal Crown Club did some exclusive early showings on Wednesday night, free screenings, and it was in, 600 theaters, but it did not make a lot of money, clearly. In limited release is a film I'm going to be seeing this week in New York City. The Old Man and the Gun opened up in 5 theaters, $150,000, per screen average of $30,000. This is the new Robert Redford movie. Now look, Robert Redford originally supposedly said this is going to be his final movie. Then he backtracked on that, but there are still outlets saying it's his final movie. Robert Redford said last week, I believe, it is not, he doesn't want to make it clear that it is his final movie. So please put those into your pieces, because that's the truth right now. That's the truth, is that he does now not want to state that this is his final movie. He may be in another movie. Look, a lot of people who said they're no longer going to have live action roles are still going to do animated roles. Robert Redford could do an animated role. Look at Jordan Peele. I believe Jordan Peele said recently, after Get Out and all that, I don't want to be in front of the camera in movies anymore, but he's still doing some animated voice work, so you just never know. So there's your look at the weekend box office. Night School and Smallfoot on top, but Smallfoot and Night School probably not as big as they could have been. It's time to get into the fall TV season. This past week was week number 1. I feel like it's going to go 3 or 4 weeks because a lot of shows, especially on ABC, aren't even premiering until the middle of October. We got another couple weeks to go. So I've been able to watch some of the pilot episodes and the first episodes of new seasons of shows. If you have watched a new fall series and want to comment, please do. I'll share your comment, answer your questions right here on LCJ Live. I've watched Single Parents. This is the comedy on ABC that premiered the other night with Leighton Meester, Taran Killam, and Brad Garrett. It is actually co-created, and the script was written by J.J. Philbin. Yes, Regis's daughter is the co-creator and writer of Single Parents. I'm going to have a new blog piece on that tomorrow at lights-camera-jackson.com. So I checked out Single Parents. I think it's pretty good. I think it has some potential. The writing of the kids on most of these shows on network TV these days is absolutely terrible. But Brad Garrett is a strength, and some of the humor does work, so I think I'm going to give it another shot, and you should too. That's Single Parents, Wednesday night at 9:30. Followed by a new drama called A Million Little Things. This is supposed to be ABC's answer to This Is Us. An emotional relationship drama, though in this case dealing surroundings with a suicide. This is a heavy show. This is a heavy hour to watch. It piles on one thing after the other. A final act twist I thought was absolutely ridiculous. Didn't love this show. Do not recommend A Million Little Things. It's Wednesday nights at 10 o'clock if you want to give it a shot. I personally don't think it worked for me. I checked out Murphy Brown. I never watched Murphy Brown. I was too young for its original run, but even on reruns and things, I never got into Murphy Brown. I watched it out of the curiosity factor. There have been a lot of shows in recent years about TV news in some form, so I checked it out. And yes, there's a lot of political humor on this show, but I even found the non-political humor to be not funny at all, pretty flat. So I don't think I'm going to give the new revival of Murphy Brown another shot. Rel is a comedy with Lil Rel Howery from Get Out and Uncle Drew. It had a special preview episode, the pilot, 3 weeks ago on Fox After Football. It's back to new regular episodes tonight at 9:30 on Fox. When I watched Rel a couple weeks ago, you know, I wanted it to be funny because I like Lil Rel Howery. To me, if you put him in this 22-minute sitcom in front of a live audience as this dad who's trying to make his life work again, I feel like it's restraining him. It's not letting him go out, be out there, and do some funnier things. If it was not filmed in front of a live audience, if it had a completely different plot but focused on him, I think it could be really funny. But Rel did not work for me. I don't know if it's going to survive very long, to be quite honest. We'll have to see which new show gets the axe first from all the different networks. But to me, Rel was just not funny, and I wish he would do something else. I wish there was a completely different plot and situation surrounding him, because he's a funny guy. He's proven that with Get Out. He has proven that with Uncle Drew. What's up? I am Anthony Mack. Thanks for joining us here on LCJ Live. Let's talk about a show premiering tonight at 8:30 after 60 Minutes on CBS called God Friended Me. CBS, about 4 weeks ago, put up the pilot episode online, so I checked it out. And I have to say, if you've heard about this show, this guy, this podcast host who is an atheist, gets this Facebook request from an account named God. And then he has to figure out why and what's going on, and some more situations happen. I was surprised how seriously this plot line is taken. This is a very sophisticated show that brings up legitimate questions about believing in a higher power and relationships. It is a little melodramatic in spots, and it could get very cyclic over the next several weeks as you watch it. It could get very repetitive, though that seems to be the case with a lot of CBS dramas. But I say give this one a chance. God Friended Me tonight at 8:30 on CBS, or DVR it if you're watching something else tonight. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised how pretty good this show is. God Friended Me. Tomorrow night on CBS is a show called The Neighborhood with Cedric the Entertainer and Max Greenfield and Beth Bears. I've had the chance to watch part of the episode, some clips of the show, and I think it's worth taking a look at too. 8 o'clock tomorrow night, The Neighborhood on CBS. Cedric's always great, and the casting of Max Greenfield and Beth Bears, we'll see how all of that goes. So there's your fall TV roundup, but we got so much more coming over the next several weeks, including The Conners. That's right, Roseanne Without Roseanne is coming October 16 to ABC, a new Nathan Fillion show, The Rookie, and some more stuff happening. Shark Tank's back next week, and all the animated shows on Fox are back tonight. Simpsons, Bob's Burgers, Family Guy. Simpsons season premiere tonight, number 30, which is just amazing. Gal Gadot will voice herself, auditioning for the role of Lisa Simpson in a movie that Homer is making called Bart's Not Dead, because Bart supposedly has an accident. He goes to heaven and he sees God, and he comes back and explains all that. So a Christian movie producer gets to all of them and says, we got to make a movie. So that should be really funny. And I think next week's Simpsons episode, Homer and Marge go on some type of reality competition game show. So The Simpsons is usually great when it comes to spoofing the entertainment industry, and especially now with the Disney-Fox merge happening and all that. They are going to have a lot of material on this 30th season. So Simpsons tonight, 8 o'clock on Fox. A Star is Born. Are you looking forward to it? I'm really looking forward to it. Bradley Cooper, Lady Gaga, Sam Elliott. Got to add that into the equation. AMC Theaters is screening it early on Tuesday night in select theaters. Regal Cinemas is screening it early on Wednesday night in select markets. That's when I'll be seeing it, and really looking forward to it. And I think it's going to make a lot of money this weekend. Could be another good 1-2 battle between A Star is Born and Venom. I've stayed away from a lot of the marketing on Venom. I don't think it's going to do big money. Something tells me that a lot of people are going to want to check out A Star is Born, but also, I don't think people are as excited about Venom as they have been some of these other Marvel movies or Spider-Man movies or anything like that. I don't know, maybe 35 for Venom. I could easily see A Star is Born beating Venom. Problem with A Star is Born is that it's 2 hours and 15 minutes, so how many times are theaters going to show it a day? Some theaters might only show A Star is Born 3 times a day instead of 4 or even 5 in some cases for shorter movies. That could have a negative effect on A Star is Born. We'll have to see. I'm going to be in New York City on Saturday doing some cool things. Actually going to go to the Comic-Con presentation for the new animated Spider-Man movie from Sony. That'll be a lot of fun. But I'll also be checking out some movies, including Robert Redford's The Old Man and the Gun and The Hate You Give, which is another racial relations and tension movie, live-action film with Amanda Stenberg, and Common that opens up in select theaters on Friday. So I'm going to check out those. And then on Sunday, Football Sunday, I'm going to be at the Eagles game. Yes! Eagles are taking on the Vikings at 4:25 on Fox. That's going to be a great game. I'm going to be there for it, and that means next Sunday, noon Eastern, right here, LCJ Live, will be from Philly, on location in Philly. That'll be really cool. Taking the show on the road, so that'll be a whole lot of fun. So please look forward to that. I'm looking forward to doing LCJ Live from Philly. We'll do some game analysis. I'll get into my sports zone there, and we'll talk about all of that. So, again, Night School is your number one movie. Smallfoot right behind. A lot of TV shows, including The Simpsons. Check out God Friended Me tonight on CBS. And big movies this week: A Star is Born and Venom. And I'll be here next Sunday in Philly. Quick birthday shout out to my film critic colleague Jim Dixon. Happy birthday, Jim. Follow him on Twitter at DixonJim, and his movie reviews are at jim-dixon.com. I'm Lights Camera Jackson. If you're watching this on YouTube, latest video, and please subscribe, and I will see you next Sunday for LCJ Live at noon Eastern, live from Philly.